Internet! Welcome back! This is Two and a Half Brains' weekly discussion of the latest episode of Survivor. This is Survivor episode 40 premiere recap, talking all about it here. Episode 1 of Survivor season 40, a season 20 years in the making. Season winners at war. Talk all about it here. Obviously, we're a little bit later than we like to be. We wanted to wait for the weekend. It was an amazing trip, and I'm really excited we got to do that. It's been a long time coming. Haven't had much time away. We've been very busy, but we're very excited. I'm very excited that my lovely fiance took me away for the weekend. So I'm very excited for that and very happy for that. So we're going to try to get out usually on Wednesday, but I'm sure you guys understand that we had other plans this weekend. So let's go ahead and talk about it here. We'll go ahead and dive in, discuss the latest episode of Survivor, season 40. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm at YoGrabbaGabba. You can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pavement Road Productions. Pavement Road Productions at gmail.com is our email address. And you can also subscribe right below so you don't miss any of the videos we do. Subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, tell your friends about the videos, and help us get some more traction, especially with the new show we're doing about the Masked Singer that Jessica's been running and doing an amazing job with. So before we get too farther down the line here, let's go ahead and bring Jessica in here. And maybe Bailey too, seems like he wants to put his 2 cents in. So let's go ahead and bring Jessica into the show. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello. Oh, come here, Up. Okay.
Bailey just wants to sit here and do his own thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, welcome.
He wasn't with us all weekend, so he's going to be sticking close.
Understandable. So, real quick, why don't you, let people know how they can find you on Twitter.
JustT820.
All right, excellent. And so this is the first episode 1 of season 40. Just before we get too far down the rabbit hole, share your thoughts on the first episode and the theme in general. Obviously, we picked teams and everything like that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But tell about what you think of the episode so far.
I thought it was good. I don't know most of the returning players. I only know a select few people. But it was interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out. Everybody knows everyone or of everybody, and you'd think that people would be gunning for the most dangerous or the most well-known or the biggest threat, but it just doesn't seem so far that they're going to be doing that. But I don't know, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this season.
Certainly.
What's going to happen.
Certainly, for sure. So those who are new to the show haven't heard how we do this. We changed up a little bit last couple seasons. We used to be a blog form. Now it's a video for you to a vlog, if you will. And Bailey wants to give us opinions today. He's very opinionated in this episode. He wants to tell us all about it. So, hey, Bailey, say hi.
Say hi. Look, who's here?
Bailey, hi. Say hi. Say hi, Bailey.
You're on camera.
You are on camera, Bailey. Say hi. Say hello. Okay. So we'll go ahead and talk a little about the episode. Break down the 3 most important moments of the episode, 3 moments that mattered. We'll go ahead and discuss what happened to the losing player, how they got knocked out, what happened, what went wrong. And then we'll go ahead and give our power rankings for the top 3 and bottom 3 of the week. And it's a overall, here's how they're doing, here's who's in the best spot, or here's who had the best week, or whatever we kind of feel. But just kind of highlighting a few players for good play or bad play, kind of just depending. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It doesn't mean they're going to be winning the game. It doesn't mean that's our winner picks or anything like that. Just kind of a little bit of a here's what we're looking at right now. And Bailey almost just fell off the couch. So let's go ahead and dive on in here, and we'll get started. We'll start with the 3 most matter. Jessica can lead us off here with the outline, keep us on track. We talked a lot about the episode, a lot about the season already. One thing I forgot to mention I didn't know about was the fire tokens. But we'll talk about the stuff here. We already did a preview show and picked our team, so we'll talk about that as we go through as well. But so moment that mattered, number 1, Jessica, is what?
What you just said, the fire tokens.
Fire tokens, yeah. So what do you think about these?
I think they're cool. It's a different spin on the show because if you do the same thing all the time, it's going to lose people's attention. And since they're all returning players, most of them are multiple returning players, you got to do something a little different and throw a stick in the road, if you will, like a bump in the road for everybody and just change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it's going to go. I know it sounds kind of Medallion of Power-y to me, which which was a horrible twist that last one season was gone. We'll see. They did have to do something different because nobody's played with fire tokens. Some people didn't play with idols. Some people didn't play with different types of advantages. But nobody's played with these. So this is completely new to everybody. And nobody also has played with Edge of Extinction yet. Some of them may have heard of it and have seen the season, but nobody actually played that either. So we'll see how it goes. I like the idea of kind of like the Keanu Reeves checking the mailbox type of thing. You got mail, and going and seeing that you got something from another alternate reality or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of with the
the lake house. I was very
Lake
confused
house.
for a second.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking Keanu Reeves either for whatever reason. I'm thinking Chris Reeves, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
I'm tired, everybody.
We had a long trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the. I like the idea of them being able to kind of pass information from one universe to the other type of
And
thing.
you know, well, with Sam, I don't know. That's the whole other thing. Never mind. Just kidding.
So, the fire tokens are interesting. We'll see how they go. I don't know. We'll see. It could be terrible. It kind of seems like it might be terrible, but maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
Yeah.
What's next?
Back to Extinction.
So after Return to Extinction Island, tell me about that.
Well, what I was just gonna say before, more guest relates to this. Extinction Island's a lot different because now on the island you can earn fire tokens, which can help you get back into the game. Natalie, thank you, sent an idol over to Sandra, and Sandra bought it from her with one fire token. So I thought that was interesting. Edge of Extinction before wasn't really anything. Now there's more of a connection to the existing game, so you're still kind of playing the game along with them. I think people have more to do on the Edge of Extinction than before, so I think it'll be interesting. And of course, we'll talk about it later.
So, yes, the Edge of Extinction, I don't like it. I really hope they don't do it past the pre-merge. The way it kind of have laid out, if you have enough fire tokens, you can buy advantages in the challenge to get back in.
Yeah.
Depending on what the challenge is, may not matter. Some people, doesn't, and sometimes they're huge advantages. It really kind of depends. So we'll see. Edge of Extinction is back. They don't really have an option after they would take, not take it anyways. They're going to be there the whole time anyways, whether they're at Edge of Extinction or otherwise. So they really have an option now, but they can vote out, they go right to Edge of Extinction, and then they can leave if they want to after that point. But we'll see. I hate the idea. I really don't like the idea of it post merge. I think it gets you in a lot of trouble. Just ask Season 38.
So you don't play any of the games. So how do you deem someone, that they should win?
Yeah, and Jeremy said in the pregame that he doesn't think the returning players would vote a winner who came off Edge of Extinction. He probably regrets those words now because he could be there soon. But we'll see. What's next? What's the three moment? Our moment that matters, number 3.
Pre-existing relationships.
And that's kind of the theme so far of the season. It's kind of been a theme. We can kind of go through them a little bit here. Some of the pre-existing relationships that are in the game, but that's been a huge thing because everybody has everything in common. Everybody's won the game. Adam and Denise made a mistake early of trying to find the water well, getting lost. Being away from the group, that kind of thing. So yeah, that certainly is something too. But they have to differentiate themselves somewhere, and every returning player season there's some pre-existing relationships that everybody has.
Yeah.
But these are a little bit different. Tell me about them a little bit. What do you?
Well, it's more well known. They kept talking about the poker one, which was Rob, Kim, and Tyson.
And Jeremy.
And Jeremy, okay, yeah. But Rob's on the other, side, so his wife is the one that is getting the brunt of anything because of Rob.
Yeah, and because not only is she somewhat tied to them. Tyson was in their wedding, everything like that, or was at least a part of their part of their family at least through friendship with Rob, but also Amber is married to somebody else in the game, so huge threats. Obviously they know each other really really well. Natalie and Jeremy are friends.
Right.
They played together and they've been friends since.
Yep.
One thing that's not really talked about too well is Michelle and Adam are good friends.
Yeah. They haven't mentioned that at all, actually.
Right. They haven't, which means it's probably not going to come up.
Yeah.
But, and then, hey, Bailey. Anyways. So there's been a lot of pre-existing relationships that are they have for multiple seasons. I mean, obviously Tyson played with Rob, and also played with Sandra. Tony and Sandra played together. Sarah and Tony played together twice. Sandra and Sarah played together. So Sandra, the only person in the game who's ever voted out Sandra is Sarah. So there's a lot of pre-existing relationships, and that we'll see how those affect the game going forward. I don't love when Survivor is dictated by things that happen outside the game. I don't love that. Also to look at Ethan also played with both Rob and Amber.
He was the only one that didn't have anybody there that he's played with, right?
Well, the later seasons too didn't, because they've just played recently. But
yeah.
I mean, there's been a few that really haven't had a whole lot of pre-existing relationships, but a lot of them have played. I mean, again, some of them have been going for 40 years or 40 seasons, 20 years. They're gonna eventually meet each other, and pretty much the later seasons haven't played together, but they know each other.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows each other, so they see each other at events and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. I don't love when the season's dictated by stuff that's not in the game. That's stuff that's outside the game. But you can't really avoid it at this point, unfortunately.
No, I don't know. It just people are dictating their relationship part. I feel like in different ways instead of going for the bigger relationships that aren't as obvious, maybe.
Yeah, it's it's whatever you can get. It's got to be somebody. And you don't have to be you. So it's kind of whatever you can get everybody else on board with.
Yeah.
Is the way to go. We'll see. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I am definitely excited that we've needed a good returning season, and we haven't had one in a while, and there's plenty of good good returnees on this season. Obviously, all winners, and I'm excited to see where they go. It's definitely been a long time in the making, and I was really watching it, really excited to see all these players who I haven't seen in a long time. Ethan we haven't seen since season 8. A lot of them, Amber we haven't seen since season 8. And obviously Poverty has a lot of relationships as well. I didn't want to forget that. I mean, Rob and Sandra.
That's what I mean. That's one of the bigger, threat relationships that nobody really talked about.
Yeah.
Very little.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also too. I think one thing that Poverty has going for it is everybody who she's quote unquote close with, she's voted out of the game. So there's always a hesitation that, well, do they really trust each other? Because he voted, Sandra, to vote out Tony. Are they really working together? I don't know, because Sandra voted out Tony, so they do. And Tony's ego is not going to let him work with Sandra long term.
Yeah.
So there's all those little things that Tony beat Sandra. Tony beat Sarah once. Sarah beat Tony once. So there's all these little things that you kind of are like, well, yeah, they work together, they know each other, but are they friends? I don't know. Hard to say.
Right.
So that's kind of part of it too, I think.
Right.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
So we'll see how the relationships end up playing out, but so far it's been a huge theme throughout the season. All right, so let's continue on here. So what we did go over the three most important moments.
3 moments now. 2 did not survive.
And there's 2 this week. 2 who didn't make it.
Talk about it.
Both from Jessica's team, but one could get back in the game, and Natalie's pretty good in challenges. I could see her doing it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, doesn't mean that they're out necessarily yet, and there's still plenty of season to go. Not a great start, but.
To be fair, the only reason they're going after Amber is because of Rob, and that is purely it. It's not even her. Sandra's so pissed at Rob because he didn't tell her that he was playing this season. His wife was playing the season that she's gunning for him. And that pisses me off so much. Like, oh my god, stop. Just stop. It was a part of the show.
Right, and that's part of it. And it's just one of those things where, when there's an X factor, where there's one main element that doesn't relate to any of the other elements, a married couple in this case, that's basically 2 votes, right? They got the end together last time. You got to break them up as soon as possible, and that's what obviously they tried to do. It's not a game thing. It's just the way it is. It's really hard to play the game as a pair, and obviously that hurt.
Not even why they did it though.
Well,
she's just mad at her. She's mad at Rob.
Yeah.
They said that Amber wasn't playing to everybody's speed. You have to play faster. Okay, I get that, but the whole thing was Sandra being mad at Rob
Yeah.
for lying to her. That's it.
Well-
She's the one that admitted she hates and she doesn't want to play with her emotions, but it's exactly what she's doing right now.
And
I love Sandra. Don't get me wrong. I love her, but that's dumb.
And I agree. And there's also an element of that. They're trying to weaken Rob. Obviously, take away one of his main alliances, and the fact that she is through Rob, connected to all these other people. It makes sense. The vote makes sense to me. I don't think it's not really fair, but it makes sense. There's plenty of other threats. I would have personally, just being me, I would rather see Rob go out week one or first vote, and then Amber could have stayed forever. Amber probably wouldn't have been even targeted for a while. If Rob was the first boot instead of Natalie, I think it could have gone. I think it could have gone a while. I'm also really annoyed that the edit Rob's getting. He's getting the Superman edit again, which annoys me. It's the 5th time playing. He's best buddies with Probst. I mean, all right, enough.
It's all returning people, so the favorites are going to be the ones that get all the attention.
For sure. So let's start with Natalie though. What did Natalie do wrong? How did Natalie get herself voted out, or why did she vote out?
Because they said she's too close to Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I say Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
That basically it. She didn't really do anything to put herself out there. Adam and Denise are the ones that walked away and put themselves into a bad spot, and then everybody forgets about that when it comes time to vote. Or they forget about Rob Poverty being on their team and how they're huge threats, and it's not get rid of them right away.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think the right move would have been Robert Parvati. I mean, I said that when they were voting. I said that Heroes Villains, the first vote the villains went to, they were talking about getting rid of Parvati. They didn't do it, and then she went to the final 2 and almost won. Yeah, final 3 almost finished 2nd place. So I don't know. But I think I think if they play the game smart, they'll take out those who are the most social, all those things. The biggest threats should go first, no doubt. I don't know if that's how it's going to go, but hopefully they wake up a little bit, make smarter moves. But
yeah, I don't really know how the decision making is really going to go this season. That's part of the problem with bringing back returning players. Is kind of, but this past season too, though, everybody was just going at 100 miles an hour, and the decisions were interesting.
Yeah, I think Natalie, she's a physical asset. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's more of a physical asset than some of the players out there. So voting her out first, I mean, I guess I can see it, but it's just that the best thing about when you're a Denise and an Adam, when you screw up early and make that mistake early, give it 5 minutes. Somebody else can do something else. So just you gotta slip back under and go be a yes man, yes woman for a while.
Yeah.
And that's what they're able to do. But it is crazy that Rob, Amber, Parvati, and Sandra combined for no votes.
Right.
Sandra was had an idol. She thought she might have to play it. The 3 biggest threats got 0 votes. The first 2 votes. So I guess. Tony's looking at it. He said he's looking at it from having the meat shield around, get other people who are bigger threats in front of him, so he's not the biggest one that I was looking at, which again makes sense. It's a smart strategy. But if you don't get them for, you don't need 7 meat shields. You need 1 or 2. So you should definitely take out the biggest threats. But Natalie, again, pre-existing relationship with Jeremy, and didn't try to hide it. Obviously, and that hurts.
Yeah, I know that's stupid though, because everybody's got a pre-existing relationship that they weren't trying to hide either. So I don't know.
For the most part, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have a really tough time with this season 2 and decisions and what people are thinking, because what's different from one relationship versus the other relationship? It's the same exact thing.
It's just being able to sell it. That's it.
Bull.
Yeah, it's just being able to sell it.
Yeah.
It's being able to say there. It's like saying I know I'm connected with this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, but they're connected with that one, and that's the one you want to watch. Mm-hmm. It's like Rob saying, who's connected? Adam and Michelle, they're friends. I guess Rob's connected to everybody on Earth, but it's being able to sell it, and obviously Natalie, and I think Amber had the same thing. Amber is just in more, more of it. Yeah. Amber was a big threat because of her many connections with many different people. Who knows? Anybody could come back from the edge and get back in this game, and who knows? But for right now. Both of these two people who got knocked out were knocked out basically with their music, just because of who they were connected to and trying to weaken other people and that kind of thing. I mean, I think they should have again knocked out Rob or Jeremy. That'd been better way to go.
Yeah.
But instead they knocked out their close allies, which I guess I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Well, so that we'll talk about in this segment this week. But let's go ahead and talk about the next part, which is the top three and bottom three. We'll start with the bottom three here. Who are the three players who did the worst week, or I guess you could say, or is in the worst spot after the first week? And who is, and these are in really no particular order, but I did have to list them. Who is number one? Tyson. Yeah, my guy Tyson. He's my first pick off the board, and I'm a little bit worried about him. What do you think about Tyson and how he's doing?
I mean, he's fine. It's just because he's got a relationship with someone from outside of the game.
Yep.
That's the only reason the name gets brought up. But besides that, I mean, he's trying to work with people. He's saying that he'll, work with them, do what they want, whatever. But it's gonna bite you in the butt to have friends, apparently.
And it's the way it is. Anything that makes you stand out, and that's definitely a big thing with any season of Survivor, but especially this one. I mean, the more friends you have, makes you more of a threat. Tyson is known as being good in challenges. He's a threat in that regard, and also he's very he's funny. He just is he's very he can be a jerk too, but he's also very fun to just he make jokes and he actually doesn't care.
Yeah, but you got to remember though that was back then. It's not now. Now he's a parent and everything else, so you have no idea. Everybody's personality from when they first played is going to be completely different than who they were before, I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Parvati alone, she's got kids and now she's a softie, she said too. Like, she's not the same person she was from before.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything from before is completely different now, I feel like.
In a lot of ways. And he said, if you try to play the game you played 20 years ago, you're not going to probably have the same success.
Yeah.
The game is different.
Right.
And they always keep changing it and everything like that. So,
right.
And Bailey agrees. I think Tyson's, he talked about it too in the confessional. He said, in the season he won, he had the same mentality. He started crying and he's like, I'm here for my kids and my wife.
And he's never been away from his kids for more than a couple days. Now he's leaving them for over a month.
Yeah.
So he's very emotional about it.
And he said the first time he played, he was just played with goofball. Second time he played with goofball. Third time he played, his wife got voted out early, and then he played for her the rest of the game and dominated and won. And I think that's kind of where he is now. I think he's kind of in the same spot, and they got to realize everybody else needs to realize that too. Like, hey, he's still the same goofy Tyson, but he's closer to Tyson that won now than he was Tyson who lost.
Right.
He's more of the person that won than he was the person who lost.
Yeah.
So, and his name came up. We'll see. It could come up again. Once it's up, it usually stays up. But if he can slip back on the radar, that's gonna be his best bet. Hey, I'll vote out whoever as long as it's not me. Go in the Sandra just survive mode, survive each vote, and see where it takes you. But he's didn't have a great week. I'm not necessarily think he's gone next week, but who knows? It could still go either way.
Right.
Any other thoughts on thoughts or comments on Tyson?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Who's on the bottom, number 2? Kim. Why?
Same situation, because she knows him. She's like she said, I played poker with somebody once, and all of a sudden I'm in a poker alliance when other people have known people longer. She said exactly something like I would say, like it's crap, it's stupid. But I don't know. Besides that, doesn't really seem like she's doing too well anyways. She's kind of singled out more, I guess.
Yeah, she wasn't even in the first 2 episodes, or first episode at all, really. I mean, it was a 2-hour episode. She was barely on the screen. She had, I think, 1 or 2 confessionals, which is kind of insane for one of the best winners ever. But she's also in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion. But she's in a. Again, Tyson said this is gonna be the final 4 if we ever play again, and of course they're all there playing again.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help either, but. It's the same thing. Kim's was targeted for being, again, in a poker alliance with people that she played poker with once on TV.
Yeah.
There's really not much else to it.
Yeah.
I think, but it's, again, they're all winners. There's nobody who sucks. You're like, let's vote them off because they're terrible. or let's take them to the end because they're terrible. Everybody can win the game because they have.
Yeah.
So you need to pick something, and if that's the easy consensus to get everybody on board with, great. And that's unfortunately, you hate to see somebody's game end for that reason, but unfortunately, two have kind of ended for that reason. Any other thoughts on Kim before we move on? She's, again, not in a great spot. I could definitely see her going soon, but again, if she can slip on the radar, somebody else, just like Adam and Denise, right? You slip back on the radar, somebody else does something stupid, and now they're the target, not you. So you gotta just kind of survive. When you're the target, just survive the vote, and then hopefully somebody else screws up, and somebody else was bad in the challenge, somebody else gets outed and gets caught in a lie, whatever, and now you're good. But once your name is up, oftentimes it's hard to get that out of people's mouths. Anything else?
No.
What's next?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, why Jeremy?
Same situation as the other two. She has close alliances. But really, I don't know who else is remaining besides Natalie. His closest alliance, I guess, is gone now.
Yeah.
So now he's a floater and needs to vote out whomever everybody else says. But more than likely, he's just more of the target for the next one because who that's going to get you kicked out.
Yeah, I think the fact that they won this last immunity helps him a lot.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One, Natalie's there; she can maybe get him something next time. If she gets the chance. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you had to will somebody a token when you voted out, and obviously Natalie gave it to Jeremy. Mm-hmm. Amber gave hers to Rob. Again, no shock there.
Right.
So we'll see. I don't know. I think Jeremy. I think the fact that he won, they won that immunity, and now there's gonna be about 5 or so days before they vote again.
Yeah.
I can see them now, Ben and the rest of them, whoever else, being like, all right, well, we should get rid of Robin and Poverty the first time. Let's just do that now.
Right.
But also, Rob can be weaker now because Amber is gone. So now, who knows? Mm-hmm. So it's all kind of back and forth. It's like it was like when on the similar idea I have, I guess, was Blood versus Water, mm-hmm. because the person who was on the who won the challenge. Mm-hmm. To stay in the game, the first place person got to give somebody the clue to an idol. And the first couple times they did it, they obviously they're doing it out in public every time. Hey, I'm gonna give this clue, this idol to my spouse, my mom, my cousin, whoever it was that, right? And they gave the idol clue to them, so that person got voted out next because they have an idol clue. It's your of them. So that then it became a curse. Well, who do I want to give voted out? Let's give them the clue. So we'll see if it kind of shifts in that way too. But it was very through line for the whole episode, the first episode so far. So hoping that they pick all the reasons that are voting people out. But right now it's been kind of just pretty straightforward. Yeah. Which is I'm excited that there's people back that I like seeing and I enjoy watching. But other than that, it's been very just like that right down the line. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Who's doing well, though? Let's talk about the top 3.
Number 3, Sarah.
Sarah. Why Sarah Lucina?
I mean, she's strong. She was strong in the challenges. I guess she's strong alliances. I don't really know socially. Who she knows or who she played with. Yeah, she's good socially. Her and Yule have been talking a lot, like the Misfits, I thought they were calling themselves.
Yeah.
Like them, Sarah Clark, and all that.
Sophie Clark, yeah.
Sophie Clark. Something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on right
Yule and Sophie were really getting close, which I almost put Sophie on there too, mm-hmm. just for that reason, because she said she's got the brain shield of Yule. No matter if anybody thinks Sophie's the smartest person there, having Yule there, she in her mind's like, well, I'm not the smartest person here. Look, we at Yule, mm-hmm. and Yule's the smartest person here. So, but Sarah was good in challenges. She has played with Sandra and with Tony, so she has that relationship. But again, it's kind of a lot of frictions. It's hard to kind of tell if they are aligned.
Yeah. And
she's always been good socially. She's kind of up to the same tricks as last time, and nobody really seems to be onto her. Mm-hmm. That being said, she could be gone next week. Who knows?
Right.
But I think she had a good start.
Yeah.
Who else?
Who's next?
Or do you have any other things thrown at Sarah?
No. Just see what they do next.
I know. You said you were feeling good about Sarah. You liked her so far.
Yeah, I like her personality and everything, and I mean, she's quieter though, so she's not up in your face, and she's been successful so far in the first episode. Mm-hmm.
And I said I was really torn between her and Sophie. The only reason I put Sarah over Sophie mm-hmm. was because Sarah did more in the challenge. Mm-hmm. Who's next?
Sandra.
Sandra. Why is Sandra here?
I don't really know why you put her up there. I guess because she was a really big component of why Amber went out. You know, she pushed that. She was behind that whole thing and getting people on board with it and everything.
Sandra's playing. Sandra's watched the game even when she was won twice.
Yeah.
She watched season 34 when she played, and she knew how to play the game for season 34 also. Like 34 was she hadn't played in 14 seasons at that point, but she was like, you know what, I still know the game, I still know how to play it, and she still does. She's the biggest threat. She's won twice. She's the best player probably out there, and nobody's even talking about getting rid of her. She's still creating votes. She's still saying who's getting knocked out. She has an idol that nobody knows about in her pocket, so they do decide to turn on her in the next couple of votes. She's safe.
Right.
She's got all these things that she should be. She should have been. I mean, the first 3 votes should have been Rob, Parvati, and Sandra. But the fact that Sandra not only was not targeted, got to keep an idol that nobody knows about, and called the shot and who got taken out. Sandra's, elite. Is she gonna win this game? Probably not, because eventually somebody's gonna be like, we can't Sandra at the end. But the only time Sandra would win the game once, it was pre-merge. If she makes the merge, who's winning for Sandra? She's not gonna win challenges. She's not gonna, she's not gonna be a threat in that regard. She can very easily slip on the radar because there's a lot of people around the merge.
Yeah.
And somebody, and she'll just jump. She'll leech on whoever is got the numbers, and then by the time you realize that you're at the final 8, you're like, how is she still here?
Right.
And that's what she does. And she's very, and she's also got the social game. Everybody loves Sandra. Everybody knows Sandra and likes her. So nobody has any bone to pick with her really, except for maybe Tony. And he needs her because she's a bigger threat than him. One of the only people who are. So that's why Sandra's there. And she got the idol now. She's calling the shots. She's the biggest threat. Nobody even seems to pay attention to that fact. Right now, Sandra could certainly. There's definitely a path for her to win again. I mean, I don't think she's gonna, because there's a lot of things that have to happen. But man, she's elite. I mean, there's no doubt that she is a world-class player.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have anything else to add about that? I know you were kind of didn't like how she went after Amber, but you did obviously give her credit that she's a good player.
No, I mean, she's a good player. I know she is. I just can't stand how everything's about relationships right now between everybody.
I agree.
Because everyone's got a relationship, so find something else.
Right. You
can't all focus on the same thing when everybody's got it and look at it differently.
Yeah, it's true.
Stop it.
Certainly true. Bailey doesn't agree.
No, Bailey agrees with me.
Okay.
This is crap.
Well, Bailey's team is doing well. He's got 2 people on his team. They're both still in the game. He wants to show me the treats.
I want Bailey to win.
I would be okay. Bailey won, but that means Rob's winning.
Yeah, or
Danny Boatwright,
who I almost picked. So
yeah, Danny had an interesting week too. Just kind of talking on that for a second. She got caught in a lie, or kind of got caught throwing Rob's name out there, and Rob confronted her about it because Ben spilled the beans. Ben spilled the Bens, and he said that Danny was throwing Rob's name out there, so Rob confronted Danny, and Danny started lying to her and said, "Yeah, I'm throwing everybody's name out there. It's anybody but me right now."
Yeah.
And Rob said, "I appreciate that." Now they're seem to be working together. We'll see if they actually have trust. But I feel like Parvati, Danny, and Rob would be a good strong alliance. And they all can kind of work together. Danny is kind of the one that is kind of the under the radar, can sneak and get information, and then can use that to protect Rob and Parvati.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll certainly see. I think Bailey agrees. And then finally, who is the player of the week this week? Yul Kwan, yes.
Yeah, that must be. He's probably going to be my number 1 person on my team, which would mean that there's probably going to be another guy winner of this season. But you never know. There already been 2 women voted out.
Yeah, and in recent seasons, it's going to depend. I mean, pre-merge, I've been saying, usually if a guy goes out, more men go out pre-merge than women. Like a woman usually wins, but that hasn't been the case recently.
Yeah.
And the only time that there been, on season 33, Adam's season, pre-merge, Jessica's face is delicious today. Pre-merge, 6 women went out, 1 man went out on season 33. So obviously, the dude was winning that season.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully, it's not the same way. Hopefully, they balance out a little bit. A couple men go out next. But it really depends on who plays the game, who gets there. If you look at who's getting the confessionals so far,
yeah, it's been mostly women.
it's been mostly women. So I have a good feeling about women still winning it. But we'll,
That's what was said last year, so I'm not saying anything.
and all the women got confessionals last year too.
Yeah,
and no dudes got
exactly.
confessionals, and look what happened. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. We'll find out. Still, just so you know, Jeff Probst, not a single woman has won since the fire challenge was thrown in. Just saying. Keep that in mind. Get rid of it. It's terrible. Other than that, any other thoughts before we wrap up?
No, we didn't really cover why Yule was number one.
Okay. Well, I was kind of just,
You went off on Danny Boatwright.
Yeah, and your face getting licked.
Yeah, that's alright.
So, why is Yule here?
Yule's there because he, he's kind of the odd man out, and he can make an alliance with anybody, and he kind of is. He's pulling all the people together that he doesn't really know, some of the younger players, and making a closer alliance with them, so he has a better shot in the game.
Yule's super smart. He's one of the smartest players. He's maybe the smartest player ever play the game. One of the smartest ever win the game. And with Yule, I feel like he's old school, but with a new school mind, which puts it in a very, very nice position. Because he can go with Rob and Parvati and Danny and Sandra and all them. He can go with all them because they're from the same era. But also he's smart enough to be like, hey, look, let's pick up the other people who don't have pre-existing, relationships. That was huge. When in Tyson's season, they said, hey, it's only pairs left. And they basically became people who have a loved one left in the game against people who don't. And they said, let's get rid of the pairs. And they got rid of all the pairs. They picked up all the stragglers, and then they voted all the pairs.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what Yule's doing. It's the ones who have pre-existing relationships against the ones who don't. And Yule can go either way because he does know everybody.
Yeah.
But it's not overt. And I think he can use that to pick up the people who don't really have anybody else that they're that close to in the game, and run it down with that. So Yule's been the diplomat so far, and it's always going to be the diplomat in this season for sure. One who brings people together. Yule and also Ethan. Ethan's on your team too. Ethan's a good dude. He can definitely align with Yule, and I feel like Ethan is kind of the same boat. The Survivor is harder now. It's a lot faster paced, and when you're older. You can't keep up, and you haven't played in 32 seasons. It's hard to, keep that pace. But
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
150,000%. I agree.
Yeah.
He's not in the season though. He won. He should be in the season. All right. Anyways, anything else today?
Yeah, Denise's tribe has won. You were supposed to.
Oh yeah! Thank you for reminding me. Denise Stapley. OMG! Her tribe won immunity. This is that second vote. The second vote this week was the first time Denise Stapley did not go to a tribal council. Ever. OMG. Isn't that a fun little note?
It was a fun little fact to end the show.
Fun little fun fact. Oh, yes. Indeed.
How could you forget?
How could I forget? Because I watched the episode like 5 days ago.
You know everything. You remember everything, Survivor, though, dear.
I know.
I don't remember my stuff, but...
Wow. So on that note, let's go talk to a counselor. Is Denise around? She is a therapist. Denise. All right. So
talk to a counselor. You go talk to a counselor.
So Denise, we need your help. Call me. Goofy Gal on Twitter. Call me. Let's see, who do you want who do you want to be your attorney in this? You can have I'll have Nick Wilson.
Since when are we getting attorneys?
He's a public defender, but it'll work. You can have Aurora McCreary.
I'll have Sandra. She'll probably be the best attorney ever.
Yule's smart. You can have Yule.
I'll have Yule. That's fine.
All right.
What is going on here?
On that note, still happily engaged, I think.
Oh, you want it back?
No.
You're the one bringing attorneys into this. That's just making it funny. Apparently not. All right, guys. We'll see if we're both here together next week.
Well, but before that, follow us on Twitter. Follow me, Yo Grabba Gabba. Follow her.
Just TA20.
All right. You can subscribe so you find out the drama, how it's going to unfold. So you get all the updates. You can like our page, facebook.com/paperproductions, and email the show, paperproductions@gmail.com. Also, don't miss it, coming soon, episode 2 or 3, I guess, 3 of The Masked Singer. So that'll be soon, and we should be back aligned for that one, hopefully. So, other than that, I know if we did play Blood vs. Water, she'd vote me out in a second, though, no doubt. So, if we played Blood vs. Water, she would vote me out. I know that. I would not. I would definitely sacrifice myself for you.
You're full of it.
Anyway.
Totally full of it.
Anyway. Be sure to try back next time. We got the Masked Singer coming up very soon. This one is going to roll out next day or two. I think that's it. I think that's all we need. I think that's all we got. And I have nothing else for you right now because, for now, until next week, the tribe has spoken.